Welcome to the Art of Artisan. This is my last video before rotation, and I thought about doing a video of a deck that survives rotation, but I can make a video about those later. This is my last chance to show off one of my pet decks that should not work but keeps working for me for some reason, and it is Fortifying Draught. Fortifying Draught says you gain 2 life, then target creature gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. And so we're going to combo this with cards like Revitalize and Cram Session that gain us a bunch of life and draw us cards, and Tamiyo's Safekeeping, which gains us life and protects one of our creatures, to turn Fortifying Draught into a 1 mana +6/+6 for one of our creatures, or something along those lines. And we're going to be using it to target Trelasara, which naturally grows with the life gain, Illuminator Virtuoso, which grows when we target it with a spell, and Clever Lumimancer, which grows whenever we cast a spell. So all three of these are threats that are great in a life gain based pump spell deck. We need to make sure our damage actually gets through, so we have Sejiri Shelter to give protection from a color to remove blockers. It's also a protection spell. Wild Shape, which gives us trample, or can give us hexproof, once again protection. And then Charge Through, which is a cantrip that gives us trample. And it's cheap, it's an easy way to trigger Clever Lumimancer. We've also got our finishers, Kai's Onslaught being the most important, because we can foretell this and then cast it on a turn where we're already pumping a creature a ton, and we only have 1 mana left over. We cast Kaya's Onslaught, all of a sudden it's double striking, and that's usually enough to win the game. And then we've also got Show of Confidence, which with Illuminator Virtuoso in particular is extremely powerful. So this is Fortifying Draught for standard. I need to say goodbye to this deck, trash it very soon, which is going to be quite sad. This was a deck that I actually made very early on when rotation was first happening last time. It was a rotation proof deck for then. It's gotten some upgrades since then, but let's get to the games and say goodbye to Fortifying Draught. Round 1 with Fortifying Draught against Madra. I pronounce everything like Spanish if I don't know how to pronounce it, ever since I learned a little bit of Spanish. I think we keep this. I mean, we've got threats, we've got a protection spell, we've got a Fortifying Draught. Oh, one other thing about Fortifying Draught is it is great in multiples. We're actually going to just cast Clever Lumimancer just right off the bat. We've got a second threat that's probably better, so we're okay if it gets removed. Hello, opponent. Oh, Cram Session. Cram Session's pretty good. We'll swing in for 0. May get punished for that, but it's worth the moral victory. Ledger Shredder. Okay, so our opponent's also going to be Fortifying Draught, good in multiples. Said it earlier. And we will swing in with both. Yeah, we'll swing in with both. Opponent, going to take it. We can Wild Shape. If we draw another green source, we can Cram Session into Fortifying Draught into Fortifying Draught. I think that's correct. This is a little bit risky. But if we draw into a green source, that's not the right kind of green source. Yeah, oh, wow. That was too much damage for our opponent right there already. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. The deck just pours on so much damage so fast, and our opponent was playing a deck that I think was trying to race us, and they just could not keep up. So on to game number 2. Game number 2 against New Breed with the classic Fibble avatar. This is pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty good. Alright. We've got an Illuminate okay against another Tempo deck. We're going to save Blossoming Sands because it is life gain for Fortifying Draught eventually. Opponent just getting in. Are they going to pump it? No. Alright, there's a Fortifying Draught. We've got Tamiyo safekeeping up. The worst thing here is Essence Capture. Essence Capture will ruin us. We've got protection after it's on the board, but yep, there's Essence Capture. Okay. We're going to do this now. Just draw a card. Okay, Wild Shape, we don't really need that. Island, and are they going to pump it up? No, it would appear not. If we get Essence captured again, we lose the game, but we just got to run it out. Playing around Jawari, but not playing around Essence capture. Okay, that's good. Blossoming Sands. So we've got a lot of green mana, which is actually perfect for what we've got in hand. We've got lots of protection. We've got 3 hexproof sources. We've got Kaya's Onslaught and Fortifying Draught. Fortifying Draught with Tamiyo safekeeping seems pretty good. If we draw another land, we can go Tamiyo safekeeping to bait an opponent's spell, then go Tamiyo safekeeping again to protect against that spell, then Fortifying Draught to pump by 6, then Kaya's Onslaught. So we just need to survive 2 turns, and against a tempo deck, that should be pretty easy. Okay, Cram Session, that's fine. We'll Forge Helbus. Alright, does Tamiyo safekeeping, Fortifying Draught, Kaya's Onslaught work? Yes, it does. Does even just Tamiyo safekeeping, Kaya's Onslaught work? No, it does not. No attacks. They pump up their Ascendant Spirit. And we are on a tight clock. But I think we can pull this off. I mean, yeah, I think we've got him pretty soon here. Pass to blockers, pass to damage. Alright. Fortifying Draught. So what we need right now is a land, pretty badly. We can cram Session for environmental sciences, but that means we need to last multiple more turns. We have lethal if our opponent doesn't do anything, but our opponent not doing anything seems very unlikely. We can just go for a little bit of damage here. Wild Shape, potentially a protection spell. Yeah, let's just go for a little bit of damage. All of our spells cast at instant speed except Cram Session. Okay, Wild Shape. You are now a 3/3 elephant with trample. And actually, if our opponent goes for some sort of like bounce spell or something, and we Tamiyo safekeeping, then Kaya's Onslaught will be lethal. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Next to damage, let the opponent do a removal spell on us. Please do a removal spell. Fading Hope, okay. Tamiyo safekeeping. Alright. Do they have another removal spell? If they let this resolve, we win. We win. Kaya's Onslaught. And it's hexproof and indestructible already. Our opponent has to gain life at instant speed, or else they take 20 right here. And that looks like game to me. Wow. Alrighty. So we were able to play around Fading Hope pretty well there. Passing priority to the opponent was a bit of a risk, but it paid off. And it looks like looked like they were gonna rope us for a second there. And let's, I mean, that's the deck doing what it's supposed to do. It's very shockingly effective for having only 10 threats in the deck. No, 11 threats in the deck. It's very risky glass cannon, but it's a good glass cannon. Definitely for best of one only, though. Let's get to game three. Game three, playing against the Kenny Mo. And we've got a 0 threat hand. Time to mulligan. Alright, we've got a really solid hand for an Illuminator Virtuoso. We're going to bottom Sejiri Shelter, I believe. Keep all of our protection and our Fortifying Draught, because that's our most important card. Play out the plains. Creature you control. Okay. So we're going to start off with just white mana. Make our opponent a little bit less scared of like us getting protection spells eventually. Okay, good. And one great thing about Illuminator Virtuoso is it's a decent threat on its own before we even wild shape it or anything. But I think we're just going to wild shape it. White-green shouldn't have solid removal if this gets big enough. Trelisara, that's good. I think that means we dump wild shape. Bonkety bonk. Pass to the opponent. Tamiyo Safekeeping into Fortifying Draught gives this +6/+6. So that's lethal. If our opponent chooses not to chump block, then that is 100% lethal. Oh, and they're looking like a deck that doesn't want to. Okay, let's go. Yeah, they're not going to want to chump block. Oh, wait, I can't do both. My mana. Oh no, my mana is wrong. Actually, I might be able to. No. Okay, so I wild shape him and hope that I can flip into a land. I did flip into a land, but not an untapped land. Are we all in on this Virtuoso? He's going to be dealing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 damage this turn-ish. So I think we do dump this. We play out the Blossoming Sands. Maybe not the right call. We get in for 10 damage. Oh no, though. I don't think we're going to win this. I think our opponent's going to beat us out just barely. Prosperous Innkeeper's pretty good. That's 2 life gain for the opponent. Well, 3 life gain, but 2 triggers on Voice of the Blessed. And another Voice of the Blessed. That's going to be 2 more triggers on Voice of the Blessed and 2 more life for the opponent. Oh, yikes. We get to swing in, and it's safe to block. Clever Lumimancer, and... Okay, so if our opponent plays any creature, they can get in with 2 flying Voice of the Bless and just kill us. So we have to gain life right now. Or get them to chump block. Do something. So Clever Lumimancer, Trelisara, swing in with the Virtuoso, and hope. Just hope that somehow nothing goes wrong. If we had another wild shape, oh, I shouldn't have blown the wild shape. I should have Fortifying Draught first. Okay, we lose if our opponent has any creature. Any creature is lethal. Plains and any creature. Rabble rousing. Oh, that's lots of creatures. Okay, yeah, we lose. Alrighty, can't win them all. I think I misplayed that one slightly. I should have saved Trample for finishing off the opponent, because usually people will chump block when they're closer to dead. So that was my bad there. But you can't win them all. On to game number 4. Game number 4 versus Flask the Tapir. I don't know actually how to pronounce it. I know what animal it is. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Kaya's Onslaught and Trelasar is actually kind of a good combo. I think we keep this. We're going to lead with this land. So that way we can do Forest and then use Blossoming Sands to pump up Trelasar and get a scry in. And in fact, we're going to make sure we get at least one scry out of her by doing this. Oh, I should have played Forest and then foretold Kaya's Onslaught. Misplay. Yeah, that's a pretty big misplay, actually. That could cost us a lot. Okay, Trelasara. Blossoming Sands. We do not need more lands. Hopefully the opponent does not have... Okay, Elite Spellbinder, that's rough. Please do not take Kaya's Onslaught. Kaya's Onslaught is the big scary one for them to take here. Like, we can win through just about any of these getting removed besides Kaya's Onslaught. Because if they take it, we can't foretell it because it's not in our hand. Okay, Fortifying Draught. Rough, but livable. No blocks. Cram Session. Okay, that makes me a little more sad that they took Fortifying Draught. Do we foretell? Play a Forest. That's kind of an obvious play here, I think. So we can Forest, Cram Session, Environmental Sciences. Man, now I really am wishing that we had Fortifying Draught. But I think getting in a little bit of damage now is the most important thing. So we're just going to Cram Session for Environmental Sciences, I think. Yeah, that's the best one here. Gain some life. Blossoming Sands. Not super useful right now. And we're going to go super risky and foretell this and hope our opponent doesn't have removal. Swing in. Hit them for 4. Okay, how can we pull this off? So Environmental Sciences. Trelasar is actually our weakest threat. And Valorous Stance kills us. Alright. Now we are desperate for another threat. Plains is not another threat. We will Environmental Sciences here, just for a little bit of life gain and to thin the deck slightly. We'll grab a Forest. We tend to need more green mana than white. And it's the opponent's turn. And they're going to kill us in 2 turns. We have to draw a threat now. Why are you running Righteous Valkyrie in your white aggro deck? I guess it's Clerics. I guess they are playing Clerics. Alright, whatever. Okay, we're dead unless we get a blocker for Luminarch Aspirant. And we draw Plains. And that's the downside of this deck. Even if we Fortifying Draught, they still hit us for... Oh gosh, they don't hit us for enough. Alright, we're going to do this. Hit Tamio's Safekeeping. Tamio's Safekeeping does keep us alive. Alright, we'll try 1 turn. They can deal 11 damage this turn. Second Luminarch Aspirant means we're dead. Okay. Oh, but we don't have any way to give haste. Yeah, we're still dead. We will have fun, though, here. So our opponent's going to swing in, and we are going to pump the heck out of one of their creatures. Make sure that we die. Yes, okay, these can target our opponent's creatures. Good. So we're going to charge through on Elite Spellbinder. Draw a card. There's the Illuminator Virtuoso. Just a couple cards too deep. So we could cast this. We could deal a lot of damage with it. Gain some life. Connive. But our opponent's creatures are flying. Oh, and we had Show of Confidence near the top too. That's rough. Alright. And that puts us at 2-2. This deck burns through games so quickly. It is, like I said, such a glass cannon. Let's get to game 5 and see if we get the winning record. Game number 5 versus Supercal 85. We've got a threat. We've got a little bit of protection for that threat. Opponent goes first. I think we keep it. Trelisar is such a bad threat, though. I mean, the deck works because Trelisar works in the deck. Oh, Botanical Clause is always better than Sejiri's Shelter at the start. Hello, opponent. Thing of Shigeki. Okay, so opponent hopefully is not going to get much life gain. Them getting life gain is the biggest nightmare for us. Sejiri's Shelter comes into play tapped, and then we play Clever Lumimancer. Okay. Lumimancer, Kaya's Onslaught, Trelisar as a more permanent threat. Okay, that's rough. Okay. Opponent's actually playing removal, which means we probably lose this game and do not get the winning record. Trelisara. And I think for now we're just going to Forest to hold up Tamio's safekeeping. I've played a little bit risky the last couple games and gotten punished both times. This time we're going to get we're going to get a benefit out of this. Show of Confidence. Not super great here. Exile target non-land non. Aw, dang it says an opponent controls. I was hoping I would force them to exile one of their own things. That would have been beautiful. Okay, opponent's going aggro. We're going to Blossoming Sands. Gain a life. Then Clever Lumimancer. And if we foretell Kaya's Onslaught, we can revitalize into Kaya's Onslaught next turn. And that's pretty good on either of our creatures. I think we do it. Our opponent's already spent 2 removal spells. It makes me think they might not have many more. We are definitely getting in. Okay. Made the risky play finally, now that our opponent's burned 2 removal spells. Let's see what the opponent's got. Our best draw here is Wild Shape. Wild Shape into Revitalize. Okay, that's perfect. Fang of Shigeki getting pumped up. Are they going to swing in? Oh, they're swinging all in. Okay, this is great for us. This is high hopes of winning. Okay, very high hopes of winning. All right, so Tamio Safekeeping into Revitalize into Kaya's Onslaught. That turns us into a 6/6. Okay. If they don't block, we win. Don't block, opponent. Please don't block. No blocks. Revitalize. Okay, I get to scry. Put that to the bottom. Tamio Safekeeping on Trelisar. Why not? I get to scry a Wild Shape to the top. That is exactly what we want. Oh, but we don't get to play it. And Kaya's Onslaught. And that is lethal. Opponent should have blocked with Spirited Companion. This is a one-turn kill deck. And that is game. We got the winning record. Alrighty, let's get to the deck wrap up. Say goodbye to the deck. Well, the deck did well. This is a very fast deck for cleaning out daily wins. Whenever I got a green-white challenge, I would play this deck. It would pretty quickly get through games. It would pretty quickly get me enough spells cast. But I cannot recommend that you craft this deck because Trelasara, rotating. Clever Lumimancer, rotating. Kaya's Onslaught, rotating. Fortifying Draught, rotating. Wild Shape, rotating. Revitalize, I believe, is also rotating. This deck is gone. So it is not so much of a, hey, I want to show off this deck so that you can play it. This is more of a, like I've said twice now in this video, this is a goodbye to this deck. Super fun. I hope that someday we get the right cards to make Fortifying Draught itself work in Explorer, and we can maybe revisit this archetype. There are some cards that make me think maybe it will be eventually a legitimate strategy, trying to win with Fortifying Draught, gaining a bunch of life all in one turn. But for now, this is it for the deck. So, cards that overperformed, underperformed. Trelasara kind of underperformed. The value of her in the deck, though, is that you can scry. We're incidentally gaining life all the time. She's a decent threat on her own before the turn where we just one turn kill our opponent. So she's got value in the deck. We didn't get to see Cram Session into Fortifying Draught or Revitalize into Fortifying Draught a single time. So Fortifying Draught didn't actually perform as well this time. Although our opponent did remove it from our hand one game, so it did at least present a big enough threat that our opponent chose it over the other cards in our hand. Kaya's Onslaught did beautifully. It won us, I think, all 3 games of the games that we won. Oh no, it didn't win us the first game. Our opponent scooped up, but it won us 2 out of the 3 games we won. It's so core to this deck. It's a great card. If you ever want to build a one-turn kill deck, having a 1-mana way to give double strike, even if you have to foretell it beforehand, this is the way to go. On the sideboard, I had this built originally for Alchemy, back when I thought that would be popular, haha. And so I had Angel of Unity in the sideboard, which is actually pretty solid, considering we've got a Rogue, a Wizard, and a Cleric, and they're all pretty good when pumped up a little bit. It's also life gain, so if I needed more threats, I'd pull in that and Snakeskin Veil, Sajiri Shelters. But once again, I don't really care about the sideboard and stuff. This deck is dead. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you have fun with this next set release. I'm going to be putting out a video next week. It's going to be the first day of Dominaria, so hopefully I'll be able to build a deck that uses Dominaria United cards, but it is going to be really tough. I'm going to need to draft a bunch to get the cards. I'm going to have to, because I'm playing free to play, so hopefully I'll be able to put out a Dominaria United video next week. If not, I'll just do a rotation-proof deck. And until then, I hope you all keep enjoying Budget Magic, and you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.